Hi guys, thank you so much for checking out my video. If you have already watched my other videos and you subscribe, thank you for being there once again. Really appreciate it. If you're new, please do subscribe. I'm working on my own indie game project, which is inspired by PlayStation 1 era, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and also a little bit of Metal Gear Solid. It will have stealth elements. So it's going to be a survival horror game with zombies and other monsters. It's gonna have mist, a lot of psychological horror elements as well. It's gonna be creepy as beep. Yeah. So, and it will have stealth elements as well. So you'll be able to slide across walls, crawl under cars or trucks, be able to knock walls or throw cans or hide in a box like Metal Gear Solid. I think I'm just gonna add that in as an Easter egg, but yeah. Since the last video, I've been making some new assets. As you can see, there's a bunch of bikes in the game now. There's no such thing as a Dutch street without bikes. So to make it genuine and to really have that Dutch aesthetic, Dutch city center, you'll have to have bikes in it. So I created a bunch of different bikes. I also created a famous, what we call bakfiets, which is a bike with a kind of container in front of it, which you could put your groceries in. But oftentimes you see Dutch people also cycle around with children in it to drive them to school or whatever. You could see a bunch of blonde kids in front of it. I think it's pretty neat. So I changed some of the camera angles. So now it looks a little bit more cinematic. When you get close to the bikes, you can see also that it kind of zooms in on it. You can quick turn like this. You can run. You can walk backwards, and you can turn while walking backwards as well. It's pretty snappy actually for tank controls. So you could, when there's a zombie, you could quickly turn. Also, what I'm gonna implement, new idea, is some kind of a stress meter. So at the beginning of the game, he's not used to all this scary stuff, fighting zombies and all that. So he will be nervous, and you'll be able to see this from his body language. But there will also be a stress meter. And let's just say if there's a zombie right in front of you, suddenly there will be some kind of a random round robin that sometimes when he turns around, he might lose his balance and trip. Because he's nervous. So I want to make it kinda realistic, but not to a degree that it becomes annoying. But at least have some kind of round robin like that. That sometimes when you turn around, he might, lose his balance a little bit, and it might cost you a second or two more to get up and run away. So I think that's pretty cool. Also, you'll be able to use some of these bikes in certain streets. Because in certain streets I will definitely put in lots of zombies that you just cannot walk through or shoot your way through. You have to either be much faster than them using a bike, or you'll have to sneak past them by crawling on their cars or distracting them in one way or another. This is inspired by The Walking Dead, when Rick entered the city on his horse. So basically Dutch style, well, you will have to use a bike. Yeah. So I also created these little pillars, and besides that I replaced the ground texture that you can see here. It was worse before. Now I got nicer looking tiles on the floor here. Also, you might be wondering why this bike's broken. In the Netherlands, in the city centers, you will find lots of bikes that are broken or rusty. Bikes that people never picked up after they parked it there, and it might be there for a year or whatever. It might be rusted. Some people might have kicked it while they're drunk. So you might actually find certain bikes that are broken. And I have to fix this camera because it's supposed to switch back. Anyway, yeah, you might also find some missing wheels. So you can still see in this game that I still use the older model that I created, with the raincoat having a gap here and thicker arms and all that. I actually made a new one, as you can see here. This is the new design, improved design. I just haven't imported him into the game yet. So yeah, This is what he's gonna look like. I will have to import him into the game. So I improved the texture, I improved the model itself and the arms with the raincoat. I made the pants a little darker. I changed the cap so that it covers a bit more and has a little bit more space, because you can see it's kind of, because of this PlayStation effect, glitching through the cap sometimes. You can see his hair coming through. Besides that, you know, this is also a very Dutch look. Well, not necessarily this old guy trying to sleep, but these kind of pillars. So I'm also designing some pillars like that. And you know, this just to show you that I made this bike myself. This is what it kind of looks like in Blender. So that's basically the update for now. In the coming weeks, I'll be making more assets like flower pots, light poles, garbage bins, benches, you know, these kinds of things, trees, anything that makes the street come alive. Because I know at the time, you know, PlayStation games didn't have very, you know, populated streets because of a limit of the memory and all that, and the CPU or whatever it could handle. But you know, nowadays PCs are very powerful, so I will add in more stuff. Have the PlayStation effect, but more populated. I want a realistic looking Dutch city after all. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. So let me just finish off by running towards the zombie and pretending that it can kill me. Oh no. Well, it can push me. Anyway, thank you for checking out my video. The next one, I hope to have some more updates, like maybe being able to shoot or sidestepping or crawling or anything like that. Yeah. Alright. Take care.